Well, good Wednesday morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. We have got some drier air on the way, but unfortunately doesn't look to hang around for very long. So we're going to do our best to enjoy it while we've got it. As always, if you have any questions, comments, just want to let me know where you're watching from, put that in the comments below. Again, we are going on Facebook as well as over on YouTube, trying to utilize that more. I know a lot of people use that platform, so we want to make sure we're bringing you weather information where it is most convenient to you. So this morning, not bad, upper 70s, low 80s. Decent mix of cloud and sunshine. I do want to get a check of our dew points currently because I believe if we look at the map that I had up this morning, I think this front has made a little bit of southward progress over the last few hours. Not too much, but we're still sitting in mid 70s, so we still got a lot of that moisture to work with. Now, that being said, over the next few hours, winds will eventually flip out of the north, and it looks like we'll be able to cash in on some of that, although this latest model does look like it has backed off on that drier air. So I do think we'll get to enjoy at least a little bit of that and kind of get to reap the benefits of the drier air, but also we'll deal with that double-edged sword that is dry air, where it cools off efficiently, but it also heats up efficiently. So right now, tomorrow morning, and again, this all depends on how much that moisture we can actually get out. So if dew points stay a little bit higher today and through the overnight hours, maybe our temperatures are going to be closer to average. But for right now, I think a lot of us are going to be below average in those mid 60s to the upper 60s, maybe 70 degrees or so for a few. But not bad, and it should be relatively comfortable. But that all being said, again, that dry air also heats up really efficiently, so we'll take our morning in the upper 60s and warm that up well into the upper 90s by the afternoon. Now, earlier this morning, some of our just directly snagging model data was suggesting we can get to 100 degrees. I don't think it's impossible, but I do think upper 90s should be where we max things out temperature-wise. So I've got us at 98, but you can see there's areas like San Antonio and Laredo, Austin, Abilene, DFW could easily find the triple digits. And again, we're not far from that. So we'll be watching the thermometer very closely tomorrow. When it comes to today, though, didn't really talk about our high for today. A little bit warmer than yesterday, but nothing too crazy. So we'll go from, again, those mid 70s we found this morning up to about the mid 90s. Not bad. Not bad. And rain chances, forget about it, at least for today and the rest of the work week. Things change, though, as we work our way into the weekend. Again, we get to keep the drier air really just for about 24 hours because as we move into Friday, onshore flow returns. That means your winds are going to flip out of the south, and that starts to build back that moisture. And we'll feel it by the time we get through Friday, and specifically into Saturday. And Saturday, we could utilize that in the form of a very brief shower. Fantastic. Thanks for watching over on YouTube. Now you're good. Appreciate you stopping by. But again, isolated rain chance on Saturday. Just not super stoked about that. And then Sunday, now a first alert weather day, and that is all because of this hurricane over in the Pacific. Now, typically, we don't pay much attention over to the Pacific during hurricane season. Our focus is typically on the Atlantic because if we're going to find impacts from a tropical system, normally it is from the Atlantic. That all being said, we do have high pressure in place that is going to act as kind of a steering mechanism for this and start to spin this area of moisture, which is what it will be by the time it gets to us, over Mexico and then into the state of Texas. Maria, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. But again, Lorena right now, Category 1 hurricane, it will continue to strengthen. Does look like it's going to make landfall as either a tropical storm or a very weak Category 1. Now, as this moves over land, it's not going to be a tropical system anymore. It doesn't have the fuel that it needs to be a tropical system. But it's still going to have a lot of the tropical moisture associated with it. So I think we will find that moving into the state of Texas, also paired up with that return of the onshore flow. So you got the southeast winds, you've got flow and moisture flowing over the state of Mexico from the Pacific, and all of this is adding up to a pretty good shot at rain for a good portion of the Brazos Valley. So let's go ahead and get you a look. Again, we're still looking at our lower resolution data. We should start to get higher res stuff for Saturday, I think later today. Certainly, I think by tomorrow. Now, Sunday, we may have to wait another day. But again, looking at the global models, not super stoked about Saturday. Sunday and into Monday looks a little more interesting. It's all going to depend on where we find kind of the axis of highest concentrated moisture. That's going to really be what drives this rain chance. Now, because of the potential for this to impact us on Sunday, not in a severe weather way, but I think kind of like last Sunday, it could be raining for a good chunk of the afternoon or of the day period, and some of that rain could be quite heavy at times. So because of that flooding potential and the potential for that to impact our plans, we have gone ahead and called for a first alert weather day on Sunday. And as for rain totals, it's still a little bit up in the air. Early data this morning was showing anywhere from about a quarter to 3/4 with isolated totals, an inch to 2 inches. So, like we found last Sunday, that was efficient rain. It put down a lot of rain in not a lot of time. We had some really high rain totals. If my data will load, give it a second. It's got to think. There we go. All right. So that, right now, they have the higher rainfall totals over the next 7 days situated up over west of I-35. Again, this is kind of a combination of global models, but it's still a global model. So we're not getting that higher resolution data yet. We are included in the day 5 excessive rainfall outlook. So kind of like this last weekend where severe weather isn't our concern. It's just our grounds, some of us still a little bit saturated from this last weekend. And then you put more rain on top of it, flooding concern is going to stick with us. Now, when it comes to your extended forecast, a little bit of a mixed bag. If you want some warmer, drier days, we've got those for you for the next few. Rain chances work their way back into the forecast this weekend, specifically, again, eyeing Sunday, and that could linger into Monday and Tuesday. And then Monday and Tuesday and Sunday, because of the rain, because of the cloud cover, looks like we could have temperatures in mid and upper 80s, so not bad. Not bad at all. But I do believe that is it for us right now. I think I am going to leave y'all here, and we'll be back on the next one. If you want more information on your first alert weather day on Sunday, we do have that over at kbtx.com right now. And if you want just kind of your generic forecast rundown under the weather tab, that'll be where you get that information. And of course, always the latest over on the First Alert Weather app. So you guys have a fantastic Wednesday. We'll catch you on the next one.